Hey there, Tyler here from The Heritons. What you're about to see is an excerpt from a Facebook Live that we did. We do these every Tuesday at 7 p.m., so make sure to check us out over there if you want to catch it live. Thanks so much for checking it out. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment below. We'd love to hear from you and hope you enjoy.
So I'm sure some of you guys, or most of you guys, or all of you guys, or none of you guys, if you're not up in the news, saw that Facebook made an announcement on January 11th. Mark Zuckerberg says that Facebook is going to be prioritizing personal content over business content. So it's going to be prioritizing stuff that people can engage with on a personal level, because Facebook wants to be an environment that it can foster one-on-one relationships and not infiltrate you with so much extra jargon, whether that be news or like business things or like trying to sell to you or anything like that. They want to prioritize personal connection. So with that being said, take everything that I say with a grain of salt. Like any social media platform, these are like forever changing. And as soon as you feel like you figure it out or you nail it down or you have like the perfect strategy, something like this comes along and just like derails everything, and then you have to spend 6 more months figuring it out. So that's kind of like what I want you guys to like keep that in mind as we're kind of like talking through everything, because these are all strategies that we have like researched very intently. They work for us. They've created leads for us. It's created more awareness of our brand and just like allowed us to connect with more people. But it doesn't work for everyone, and we totally get that. This is just starting a conversation.
Yeah, and Facebook has very much moved into a pay-to-play type of environment. There was a point back in the day where getting people to like your Facebook page was the most important thing because it was invaluable, because you could push your content and everyone who liked your page would see it. And then they had a shift, I don't know, probably a couple of years ago, where they figured out that they could start charging people to see all that. And it's sort of, again, it's this ever-evolving process, like Ash said. But we're going to teach you based on what works for us in the sort of the current algorithm, and we'll see how it changes as the algorithm changes. They don't give you like the exact code when the algorithm does change. They're not like, this is exactly what to do to make your stuff work. Like you have to figure it out. But that's what we're going to do. So let's talk about it.
And I think it's important to remember too that like Facebook can't be your only solution. So if you're like, man, I really need to book more weddings, I'm going to just go show up on Facebook and I'm going to get all my clients from that. I would not recommend that. I would not just start throwing money at ads hoping that it's going to like, somebody's going to bite and you're going to be like, yes, Facebook for the win. And don't show up to Facebook thinking like you're only going to make you're only going to like have sales, like you're going to make sales through Facebook. Like people will totally see through that. They'll be like, this chick is just showing up here because they want my money. So Facebook can't be your only solution. All right. So why does Facebook matter? Like, why should we care about how can it be beneficial to our businesses, and what does it have to offer us? So I think so I say all the time that I think Facebook is the future. I feel like I eat my words on that because I'm like, it was the future, but now I don't know how I feel about it. But I still think that Facebook is kind of the future. I'm going to change my, like, would you call it an adjective? An adverb? A descriptor? I don't know.
I'm not very good at it.
But I think it matters because Facebook, no matter what, is still prioritizing video. And that is the medium that we communicate with all potential clients, is through video. So if Facebook is prioritizing video in organic feeds and personal posts or through a business post, we need to care about it because it is our medium. So we already have something that we can share on Facebook. So a few of you out there have heard me talk about this before, but Quintly, which is just a social media brand, and they run a lot of analytics and research social media platforms. Last year, they released data from 2016 about the influence of Facebook in video. And they said that they analyzed 6.2 million posts by 167,000 Facebook profiles over the last half of 2016. So for 6 months.
So that's only half the year. That's a lot.
That's a lot. And each month, Facebook native videos performed better, like on average, with interactions and sharing, and it performed better, 110% more interactions and 478% more shares. So it's competing. So if you think about it, like Facebook video is competing with YouTube, non-native posts. But on Facebook, somebody can show up in the app. There's a film in their newsfeed, and they can watch it right there. Whereas if a YouTube video is in their newsfeed, it takes them over to a new platform, and the likelihood of losing them is higher.
Well, yes. You want to talk about this?
Yeah. So this, I'm going to show you how you can find this in just a minute, but this is data from our own personal business page, and it shows you. It's kind of sad when you think about it because I work my butt off on all the blogs that I post, and those are the links that I'm sharing on there. So that's links that I share straight from our blog. But the top part is the native videos that we are posting. So you can see the average reach is like blows it out of the water. The average engagement also blows it out of the water.
And I don't think that those graphs are to scale. I think they had to put something on there just to make it look like that. But yeah, Facebook is highly prioritizing video. That is like their number one thing right now. So that's good for us as filmmakers because we have videos to share, but it just means we need to be strategic with the way that we are posting videos, the way we talk about videos, and how we interact with videos, because Facebook wants our videos to succeed. They want us to post videos. So you can see right from this that like they're going to do the work. The algorithm is in our favor right now. So we got to ride the wave while we can.
And I also think if you think about this on scale, we only have about, I should probably look before I say this out loud, 3,000 people that like our page. Oh, I can't look because I'm in the whatever, it doesn't matter. But it was lower than that, like for the majority of our business. So if you think about that, this is like, it's just incredible that the reach that you can have on Facebook by having a native film in the app.
And the main advantage about Facebook is that they know everything about you. Like, it's kind of scary. We kind of joke about it, but they know so much information about you. And everyone, think about it, you've had a Facebook for probably 10, 11 years of your life, depending on how old you are. So they've been collecting data on you voluntarily by you for 10 or 11 years. So they know a lot about you. So with Facebook, it's very easy to target the audience that you want to reach and get your videos not only in front of eyeballs, but get it in front of the right eyeballs. So that's what we're going to talk about, how you can do that and how to maximize the algorithm.
Yeah.
The algorithm.
Okay, so this is like everyone's least favorite thing because it like ruins your ability to reach people. But so the algorithm that Facebook has is called EdgeRank, and it basically decides like how posts are going to appear in people's feeds. And so it scores what you're posting like on a scale, and then it determines like by that score where it's going to show up in people's feeds. So if it doesn't score very well, it's going to be like least likely to show up in people's feeds. If it scores very well, it's going to be most likely to show up in people's feeds. And your goal obviously is that you want to score. But the crazy thing about the algorithm is that you can't figure it out. Like there's nowhere to know where you're scoring or how you're scoring. You just have to like keep doing it and hoping that you're going to succeed. But so the algorithm is also determined by like what you're sharing. So essentially an action that a friend is taking, on your post is going to give it an edge. So if somebody comes and say for example that you post a native video, like one of your wedding films on your Facebook page, and a friend comes along and they like it, and then they comment and they say like, this is amazing, it's so beautiful, what a beautiful day, love their story. Whatever. Okay, so it's going to give an edge to that film. So it's telling Facebook that people are interacting with this content and they like it. So if you have 5 comments, you're going to have more edge on this film, and it's going to show up in more people's film because it's like, hey, people care about this. People who are like this person that you're friends with on Facebook, they care about this content, so it's going to prioritize that on your newsfeed.
And it knows how many words they're writing. Like it analyzes all that sort of stuff. So genuine comments are better, but any comment in general are good. Yeah. Any interaction with it is going to help boost it.
Right. And, people always say like, well, what's the point? Why does there have to be an algorithm? Well, if you think about it, if you have 5,000 friends on Facebook or you have 10,000 followers on your business page, if you saw every single thing that every single person posted, like you would just be inundated with information. And so Facebook is like, we get that. We don't want people to like not use our app because they're like, I can't, it's too much information overload. So they curate it specifically with like the best stuff at the top that they know that you're going to engage with. Okay, so another thing about EdgeRank is star ranking. And so star ranking is like the same way that you would view like a Google review. So if somebody reviews your business on Google, you know, you'll see like the number of stars that they give you, and then you can see their comment. Facebook is the same way. So it increases the more star reviews, like the more you have people give you reviews on your Facebook, the higher your edge rank goes. And the more edge that your page is given, so your information will be prioritized on the app versus like another filmmaker down the street. So reviews are important,
and it's how they know that you're legit too.
Yeah, and it increases your credibility as a business because it's saying like, hey, people have used this service and they see it as a great thing.
All the stuff in the news about fake news and Facebook and all of that stuff all ties into this. So that's why they're prioritizing some of these things. So it's important to know. So yeah, so getting people to review your page is, you're saying, is one of the best things that you can do to help increase your edge rank. Right?
Yes.
And some tips for getting people to like your page is just to ask, right? So sometimes clients will just go to your page and leave a review because they like you so much or whatever. But we found that by just simply asking very nicely and in a well-written email that Ash is going to share right here.
Oh, I'm not going to share.
Oh,
I'm not going to share the exact email.
Oh, you're not going to share the exact email.
No. Okay, so this is what I'm going to say.
Oh, sorry. Say what you're going to say.
Yeah. So I just posted you can sign up for our mailing list here. If you sign up for our mailing list, you might get a surprise in your inbox that I talk all about how I get people to give us genuine reviews. So if you're interested in that and you're like, hey, we need to get reviews on our Facebook page, or like, hey, we care about this, or if you just want to add reviews to your website, Homegirl's got you covered. I'm going to help you out. So if you sign up for our newsletter, you'll get that in your inbox tomorrow. It's not going to come tonight, but it'll come tomorrow.
And you should be on that anyway, because if you're here, you're really
probably on
the
it.
email list.
Yeah. Okay.
So asking people for reviews. So in review, asking people for reviews helps your edge rank, and the more people who comment, like, and share your posts also helps increase your edge rank. And the more edge rank you have, the more legs, like organically, your post has to grow and be seen by more people just through what they call organic reach.
And I will say that, every audience is different, so you know what people are engaging with. I'm going to show you exactly how you're going to know what people are engaging with on your Facebook page. So things that work for us, as far as like how we're getting people to engage with our stuff, might not work for you because your audience is different, but the idea is still the same. Okay, so this is how you know what people are engaging with on your Facebook page. So at the top of your business page, you're going to go to Insights. And then on Insights, you'll see everything on this left-hand side, like overview, promotions, followers, like all of those things. And it's going to give you data about what is happening on your Facebook page. It is so helpful. One thing that I love about it is that you can see when people are showing up on your Facebook page and when they are looking for content. So funny thing, when I was like doing all this research for this Facebook Live tonight, like legit, our entire business, I've been like, oh, most people are online on Tuesday, so like we should probably post everything on Tuesday. And then we started posting our wedding films on Thursdays and Fridays this year. And we were like, we're just gonna try this out and see what happens. Like, we're interested in trying new things. Would you believe me if I told you that more people are looking for stuff on our Facebook page on those days that we're posting now? And people are less on Facebook on Mondays, which I'm like, oh, you're going back into the work week. Like, I feel like you'd be like missing the weekend and you want to just like check out, but who knows? Also, people are engaging with our content at night, like from 9 p.m. into like midnight. Most people are engaging with our content. Also very interesting to me because I'm like, when you get up in the morning, what is the first thing you do? Probably grab your phone. And then what's the second thing you do besides opening Instagram? You're probably opening Facebook. So it's just crazy how the things that you think are true aren't necessarily the truth.
And it goes back to what we talked about last week too, with knowing who your ideal client is and knowing what their schedule is most likely like. Because our schedule as entrepreneurs are very different than like a normal person's probably. But the Insights is great because it shows you exactly what that is, so you don't have to guess.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Okay. I can't get it to go. All right, so reviews. Yep, we talked about that.
Okay, here we go. So now we're into the meat of the content here, folks. We're talking about 3 tips you guys can do right now, walk away from this, to increase your Facebook engagement. So we kind of talked about this, but I'm just going to hit on this really fast before we jump into the 3 tips. Facebook has been huge for us this year. Like, we tweaked a few little things with what we do with our Facebook, and it has been humongous, and we've seen so much return on our investment as far as like what we invest into Facebook from both time and money, and we've been utilizing it extremely heavily. So these are 3 really great tips that we've been honing in over the past year, and Ash has really sort of figured out.
Should you fix your mic?
I fixed it.
Oh, okay.
Guys, I'm so sorry. I literally, the mic came in the mail like 30 minutes before we started this, and I really wanted to use it. So hopefully it sounds better now.
Delayed gratification. Ty is not a fan of that.
I just really wanted to use it. Hopefully it works now. Tell me in the comments.
Tell us in the comments if it's better. Yeah, if it's better. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do that you can go and you can do right now is upload your content natively. So basically that looks like you are...
What is upload natively versus what?
Okay, versus like sharing it through a blog post, or sharing it through a YouTube link or a Vimeo link. You want to upload it natively to Facebook. So in the same way that you would add a picture to your Facebook profile, you'll do the same thing on your business page. It's literally at the top of your business page where it says like add a photo or a video. You click that button, and you have your video saved on your computer or on your external hard drive, and you just pull it up, and then you just upload it straight like that. That is one thing that you can do that you can do right now on Facebook to like change the game for you. All right, the next thing is you want to write compelling copy. So if you think about this, what makes you engage with stuff naturally? Like what makes you like want to be like, oh, I want to know more, or I want to learn more? Well, there has to be something that intrigues you first. So for the most part, all filmmakers are, we all have this like innate ability to be driven towards storytelling. I think it comes naturally to a lot of people, but I feel like the more that you do films, you have to create some type of like, you have to create some storyline that like helps people get from like the beginning to the end, where they understand like what's happening on wedding day. So in the same way, you want your copy to do the same thing. You have to give them something that like sucks them in, and then you have to give them something that keeps them interested. So you want to write compelling copy. So one way that we do this is that I send out questionnaires to our couples, and I ask them about their story. I ask them about their wedding day, what they're looking forward to most. Then you experience the wedding day, and then I use their words to share their story. It's so powerful. It takes out the guesswork. It takes out like, oh, I wonder if this happened, or like stalking their Facebook profile to be like, oh, when did they start dating? Like what year did they get engaged? You just have it all right there. So you need to write compelling copy, and this is the easiest way to do it by telling their story. Okay, and then the last thing is that you're going to tag all the vendors. So we get the list of vendors from either the wedding planner that we're in contact with the wedding, or straight from the bride and groom, and we want to know everyone. And then I find all of their Facebook pages and I tag them right in the post. Now the great thing about this is they're going to see that and they're going to be like, wow, they're basically marketing for me. And then they're going to be like, wow, it's basically like free marketing. So if you think about that, the greatest amount of exposure that your business has obviously provides you with the greatest return. So you want to like, that helps you. People are more likely to refer you when they're like, wow, I just had a great experience with them. And then they shared my like whole business with like all these people on Facebook.
And if you get tagged in something, I mean, you guys know when you're on Facebook, there's a million things going on. You don't see everybody who's posting everything. But if you tag somebody, if you get tagged in something, you get a special notification. You're more likely to see it, which makes it more likely for them to share. Right. And then if they share with their page, and they're increasing their engagement and your edge rank and like all that stuff. So
right.
There's so many benefits to tagging vendors, both like algorithmically, it's a big word, and just like relationship wise.
Right. And so these are the 3 things that you can do. You can upload natively, create compelling copy, and then tag all the vendors. Very easy things. You could literally get off this Facebook Live and go and do this with one of your films right now. Okay, and so then the last thing we're going to talk about is boosted posts. We're not going to go into ads and all that stuff. It's a whole different ballgame when you get into ads.
Well, let's explain that really fast. So in Facebook, there's 2 different things. It's just like, it's kind of like a nuanced differentiation. I'll just explain that really fast. So basically a boosted post, correct me if I'm wrong, a boosted post is essentially you are putting money behind a post to increase the amount of exposure that it's going to get. It's less targeted. It's a little bit less focused.
It's going to show up in somebody's. It's going
to show up natively in their
news feed versus being on like a sidebar or like outstanding. People can also turn off ads if they don't want to be exposed to ads. Right, they can turn those off, but they can't turn off boosted posts.
It's immune to ad blockers. Whereas a Facebook ad serves a different purpose, and a lot of times it's pointing you to either purchase something or download something or buy something or watch something. There's a little bit more tracking involved. It's just a little bit more in depth, and it's in a different place in the back end. It's like a whole different ballgame. So we're not going to get into ads because that is also, again, like people have literally entire courses on Facebook ads.
And the greatest thing that you want is you want as many eyes on your film as possible, no matter what. And you're going to find that in a boosted post. Whereas an ad is like you're wanting them to take a specific action. So you're going to like add a learn more button or book me or like whatever. That is a specific action. But if you want to get as many eyes as possible on your film, you want to do a boosted post.
And it just tracks them differently.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for boosted posts, we upload our video and then I run the ad over the weekend. This is something that we've been experimenting with over the past 6 months. I had a thought. I was like, okay, so when I was planning my wedding, most likely to be in a space where I was going to be influenced by if I was going to pick a particular vendor or not. And I was like,
have time to watch a wedding film.
Right. And I was like, oh my gosh, on the weekends. Also, our target ideal client is a working professional. So they are probably busy during the workday except on a lunch hour. And so the likelihood of them actually engaging with one of our posts or like watching one of our films is really going to be on the weekend. So we started running our boosted posts from Friday like midday, Friday at 7 p.m. through Monday at 7 a.m. So that's when our boosted posts will run.
So we're posting it, but we post it first.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah.
On Facebook, and then we give it 24 hours to kind of like breathe. And then we start putting money behind it. So ideally, in a perfect world, you would upload the video Thursday night sometime around like prime screen time, which is I like to call it, which is at like what?
7 p.m.
7 p.m., 8 p.m. And then give it 24 hours and then boost it from Friday night through Monday morning.
And that helps give your post legs already. So it's like building engagement. It's building, it's giving it edge rank. It's like already showing up natively in people's feeds. So it kind of gives it legs before you come in and throw money behind it. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you go to boost a post. So this is what, like, just if you have a wedding film uploaded natively, this is just really what it looks like. You'll see the copy on the right side, the vendors, and then your video is right there. Okay, so
here's the caption.
Here's like the caption. You'll see I was very specific. It starts out with saying a quote from the father of the bride. I'd like to finally propose my toast. What you two have is really special. Your families can see it, your friends can see it, and I want you two to remember it will always be worth fighting for. And then I talk about their relationship. And then I like sum it up by saying 5 years later and they're still fighting for one another. So I'm segmenting back to the very thing that he mentioned in his toast, which is a huge part of their wedding film and a very pivotal part of their wedding day. And then I end it by saying,
fight, which is fun.
And then I end it by saying, like, you know, they gathered with their closest friends and family and committed to their lives for one another, forever overlooking the James River, and it was simply beautiful. Help us and continue to share their love story, knowing that it will always be worth fighting for. I want people to taken action. Like, I want them to share this film. So I'm saying, like, let's share it. Okay, and then we tag the vendor team right there on the right side. We also always tag our own business. I know some people think that's, like, weird or, like, over promotion of yourself. But, hey, sometimes people come and they look at a film and they have no idea that it's, like, this was produced by the Harringtons or this was created by created by the Harringtons, even though it's, like, from our direct Facebook page. So I always make sure that I tag us. And then everybody else that was a part of the wedding day. And then... so we let that run for 24 hours, okay? And so then when we're ready to boost, I'm going to click Boost Post right there, the blue box. And then it's going to open up into this menu. So this is what you're going to see. First, you're going to want to identify your audience. So
define your audience.
Yes. I always want to choose my specific audience. So I don't want to necessarily target the people who like our page, because sometimes brides don't like our page, or people that like our page might not have people that are like engaged, that are like on their Facebook page, like whatever. I want to charge a very specific audience. So I want them to live in the United States, and I want them to be between the ages of 18 and 35. So that's the audience that I choose to target, and it works every time. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh. All right, so the next one is you're going to see where you can like create your budget. And also, I always check Audience Network. This is another thing that I'm experimenting with. So this allows for your boosted posts to show up in things organically outside of Facebook. I think it's interesting. I'm just seeing what happens. So then you're going to set your budget and duration. The reason why this says 250 is because I think it has to be 250 based on the number of days that you have. It has to be at least $1 a day. So if you run it for like 2 days or whatever, it has to be 250, whatever. That doesn't matter. But you can choose how much you're going to put behind the film. And then for how many days that you're going to run it for, it will automatically select one of those duration things. And you have to be careful because you could end up running an ad for like 30 days and you're like, crap, like I did not want to spend that much money. So make sure that you specifically select the date that you want it to end. And then another thing is that we have a Facebook pixel. This is also another thing that we could literally talk about for hours. Installed on our website on the very specific pages, which is creepy. Yeah, it's very creepy to think about. So people who interact with our page, it's tracked through the Facebook pixel, and so our content is going to show up in their Facebook feeds because they've been to our website.
Yeah, basically all it is, it's like a little piece of code that you get from Facebook, and you copy and paste it into the header section of your website on the back end, so no one can see it, but it's in there. And yeah, it tracks people who are logged into Facebook who look at your website. Like, it knows, oh, John Smith, he was looking at our website on this day for this many minutes, this many hours. I have a little thing on my Google Chrome that tells me websites I'm on, if they're using Facebook pixels or not. You'd be surprised how many websites are using Facebook pixels. Yeah. But it's a good thing to use because it helps you to target more specifically people who are on your website and people who have Facebook profiles or like meet a similar profile that's similar to that person who was on your website.
Yeah. And then the last thing, you're just going to select your payment option. So Facebook pulls out payments on the same date every month. So it won't, like, if you're like, oh, I'm going to run this ad for $200 and it's going to go over 5 days, like, it won't immediately charge. It like charges on a set date every month. Yeah. Or until you get to a specific balance. Like, I think it's like $3,000. If you get to $3,000, it'll charge you right then. Okay, so that is Facebook for tonight. That's all the content that we have for you. The 3 things that you can go and do right now is upload natively, write compelling copy, and tag vendors right in the post. Every single vendor from the wedding day. So now we're going to move into some Q&A.
Yes. There aren't any, I don't think there's any questions in there currently, but yeah, so that's pretty much the simple nature of what we do for Facebook. And we've been experimenting. You'll kind of experiment with how much money you're willing to put behind a post like this. And you'll see kind of what works for you. It's one of those things where the more money you put behind it, the more people are going to see it. Like, that's just the way that it's set up. So you've got to kind of weigh your options. So do we want to say how much we spend on a normal one?
Well, okay. So Misty said, have you found a sweet spot with the budget per post versus the exposure you get, if that makes sense?
My thing's always behind.
I'm first.
Always behind on the comments.
Okay, so I would say yes. We have found a sweet spot. I think, okay, so naturally, if you spend more money, you're gonna reach more people. That's just natural. If you want to spend $5, you're gonna reach like a very small percentage. If you want to spend $200, you're gonna reach a obviously larger percentage of people that are interacting on Facebook. I would say, okay, back to what I said at the very beginning. Facebook can't be your one and only way that you're trying to market to potential couples.
Because ultimately, your goal with this whole Facebook pixel or promoting your video thing is that they're going to watch your video, love your video, and go to your website. Right. So it goes back to last week we talked about, like, having a good website is really important.
Right.
And just having a good film and reaching a lot of people isn't guaranteeing you anything. And you need to make sure that when they get to your website, it's really easy for them to find your contact page, find out more about you, et cetera, especially if it's cold traffic, which is somebody who doesn't know you.
Right. And I would also say that, like, we never get messages on our Facebook page. If people are going to engage with us, they always go to our website and they'll inquire from there, or send us an email from there. So I really do think that the most important thing is, if you are uploading natively and you want them to book you, I think it is important that your website is up to date and like ready to accept visitors.
And that what they see on your website matches the film that they're watching. Because sometimes we all know it happens. Like, you haven't updated your website in a year, and your films have gotten a lot better. You know, you might have shot 12, 15 weddings since the last time you updated your website. So if they see this amazing film on Facebook, and then they go and they look at your website, and the only films you have on there are from 2 years ago, and they're not as good, there's a little bit of a disconnect there. So that's why it's really, really important. Maybe we can get Krista to come on our Facebook Live and talk about the importance of web design.
Well, okay,
see what happens. But
Jonathan,
it's important to have a good website?
Okay, yeah. Jonathan, great question. He said, how do you handle inquiries through Facebook? Do you send them to your website or through a forum or try to get them talking? We don't get
that off.
Yeah, we don't get Facebook messages. We turn that off very intentionally because we only want inquiries to come through our website. One, it's just easier to manage, and like I don't even actually know where to find messages in Facebook
because I turned it off a long time ago. Yeah.
And you know, if it's a quality lead, they're gonna like take the time to show up on my webpage, and they're gonna or on my webpage. What is this, 2000? They're gonna show up on my website and they're gonna engage with me and they're gonna like look at all my stuff on my website and then they're gonna send me an inquiry from there.
Yeah. So again,
that's the goal.
So you gotta make sure that all these things all have to kind of work together. That if they click on your Facebook profile, that's up to date with information about you, recent photos, a photo of your face, and a really easy link to your website. We turn off the messaging because we don't want that. So turn that off. So have them go straight to your website. Make sure there's an easy contact form that's on there. That's easy for them to fill out. We want there to be as few of steps from watching the film to sending you an inquiry as possible. But at the same time, not that we're trying to like vet them, but you want to put also, we didn't talk about this. It's part of the reason why we tag ourselves in the description is so that they can see us. But also, do you ever put our website in the description or like the blog post in the description?
No.
You don't?
No.
Isn't that an easy call to action if they want to see more?
Yeah, maybe we'll explore that.
It's not a bad idea to consider putting your website or just some information at the very top of the thing, just like one liner, like the Harringtons.com or even like Harringtons.com/contact, something like that. So if someone's just scrolling through wedding films on Facebook or whatever, a potential bride, and they stumble upon this and like, oh my gosh, I love this, I want to know more. If it's right there, they don't have to go to your page and then click on your website and then go. So that's something else to think about. See, we're always evolving too.
Yeah. Okay, Megan. So with the copy, do you write all new copy for the post on Facebook or use part of the blog post copy? This is a great question. Okay, so I am a believer in not reinventing the wheel. Is that the right thing to say? Yes.
Yeah. Sure. I'm not sure if it's the correct phrase to use in the situation, but it is a phrase, which is pretty good for you.
Yeah, I know. I never remember stuff like that. So for a long time, I was writing a blog post and then writing brand new copy for the Facebook post and brand new copy for the Instagram and then brand new stuff for my Instagram stories. Like
their stories aren't that long.
Craytown. Like that. Like I literally was going insane with like, how else can you tell the same story? Like it's too much. So I write the best copy on the blog and then I kind of just piece together what I think would be the most the best perceived on our Facebook page and then out there in the world when the post is boosted. And then I kind of like piece that together for the Facebook copy. One, I'm not having to like reinvent the wheel and come up with something new and like channeling all my very quickly waning juices, and I just like I just do it. And it's just easier. Plus, like I said, I use the direct words from our couples from their questionnaires. And so I want their voice to tell their story anyways. And so I use the majority of that to write the blog post. So I'm going to use the majority of that to write the Facebook post. Great question.
So actually, I don't really know anything about she wants to know if we know anything about the Facebook video creator platform. I've heard Facebook is wanting to be the next YouTube.
Yes.
They definitely want to be the next YouTube.
I just read an article about this too.
Everybody wants to be the next YouTube.
Their goal is to surpass YouTube views. Like they want more people to watch videos on Facebook than people watch videos. It's like their dream.
Yeah. And
like, I mean, #dream.
It's one of those things that's interesting. And I think it should be stated. I think we can't go this whole Facebook conversation without noting that people who are younger than us, like the teens, they hate Facebook. Even the college kids. Like I taught a college course this past semester, and I asked them about Facebook, and they all hate Facebook. They never use it. They never go on it. It's not something that's interesting to them. So it works for us because of the target audience that we're trying to reach. But if you're trying to reach a younger audience, if you're a senior photographer or something like that, Facebook may not be the best place to be spending your time and your money. Which again, you just have to read your analytics and kind of know that. But I think it's interesting to note that like you've got to know where your target audience is hanging out.
Yeah.
So that's something worth noting. Again, YouTube it's hard. I mean, YouTube has a lot of things wrong with it right now. YouTube is going through a lot of interesting things as far as like the creators and this whole adpocalypse and all this sorts of stuff. So Facebook is kind of in a place to potentially do that. But I don't know. I mean, YouTube has been around for so long and it's so well established, and they have all of the creators are on YouTube. So it'll be interesting to see. But I know that Facebook is trying to do original content and stuff like that. So
yeah.
We'll see.
Okay, Brandon, great question. If Facebook is moving to featuring more personal content, should that influence the type of content you post on your business page? Also, do you always share your business posts on your personal page? So I do always share the business posts on my personal page. Sometimes Ty does, not always. It's because I use CoSchedule through the blog, and you can only connect one account. It's annoying, but whatever. So this is it's like one of those things where I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Should you? I feel like Facebook did say that it's going to roll it out slowly. So it's not like right now they're only going to start showing personal posts in your feed. It's like a slow evolution into like, who knows what it's going to look like in 5 months. So I don't know. I think it's something that you can like experiment with, like what you're showing and sharing. I still share all of our posts on our Facebook page, on my personal Facebook page. I actually had a thought the other day that I was like, what? I know a lot of people that like if they write a blog post, they'll share an image from the blog and then put the blog link in like the first comment. And I'm like, maybe I'm going to experiment with that because it's going to rank higher. It's going to have greater edge rank because it's not going to show up as an external link. It's going to be an internal link because it's a native photo that's going to be uploaded to Facebook. So that's another thing that I'm experimenting with.
Yeah, only time will tell. Again, I think that whole statement is a reaction to all of the interesting, the Russian Facebook scandal stuff from this last election. So I think that Facebook is looking really hard at their algorithms and at their their desire to make money, but at what cost. And there's lots of different discussions and podcasts out there that are talking about Facebook. Is it an entertainment company? Is it a news organization? Like, where does it fall in the realm of what sort of responsibility does it have for the content that it's putting out? So I think that's where a lot of the personal versus business stuff came into play.
I think they made it pretty clear that they want this to be a personal platform that people can engage with,
right?
That don't see each other in everyday life.
Right, because again, I think they got burned by a lot of the political stuff. So it'll be interesting to see. So it'll be interesting to see how that changes. But I mean, I have not as many, but I have almost as many Facebook friends as we do Facebook likes. So it's not. And I think that my friends I've always thought my friends are more likely to see it and engage with it than just our business page people. So
yeah,
I think you should definitely be posting on both with intentionality.
Yeah.
And I think you post, but you write a different caption usually.
Oh yeah, I do write a different caption on my personal page versus on my business on our business page. I also do that intentionally because I don't know if you guys go through these things like in your life where you're like, I want to limit who can interact with my life. Does anybody go through that? Like I do all the time. So yeah, it's just a different audience that's on my actual personal Facebook, and so I'm going to talk way more personal to them about my life than.
But we have been finding more and more recently, you never know who's following you.
That is
We've
true.
Had so many people reach out to us who have been like, oh my gosh, I've been following you since high school.
And I'm like,
and we had
yikes!
no idea. You have no idea. You're just posting this stuff every day. You'd assume, I don't know, I guess you assume like your mom sees it. But you kind of always forget that there's actual people out there who are following it. So it's never bad to post personally on your personal Facebook page.